Thank you for joining us for the Brain Injury Association of Massachusetts Brain Injury and You webcast series, featuring such topics as stroke and aphasia, advocacy, car seat safety, and the ABI waiver. For more information on this or any other webcast, please call our office at 1-800-242-0030 or visit our website at www.bia-ma.org. November is National Family Caregivers Month. We hear this often. My husband, spouse, daughter, son is ill with the brain injury, but now I'm the one that's in the hospital. Such a situation is all too common. The combination of loss, prolonged stress, the physical demands of caregiving, and the biological vulnerabilities that come with age place you at risk for significant health problems, as well as an earlier death. Despite the risk, family caregivers of any age are less likely than non-caregivers to practice preventative health care and self-care behavior. Regardless of age, gender, race, and ethnicity, caregivers report problems attending to their own health and well-being while managing caregiving responsibilities. You cannot stop the impact of chronic or progressive illness or debilitating injury on someone for whom you care, but there is a great deal that you can do to take responsibility for your personal well-being and to get your own needs met.
It is an instantaneous change in your life. From 1 minute you're working and probably your son or daughter or spouse, whatever, is living a very happy life, and then all of a sudden they have a brain injury and they're totally dependent on you, which means most of the time you leave a job, a career, and a salary, which means your standard of living immediately goes down the tubes, and many of our families are only living on the disability, Social Security disability check that comes in for the survivor. So it's very different, and hopefully there's extended family or friends or sometimes religious organizations or fraternal organizations that can step in and help. But it's a very lonely path, and very often our caregivers end up needing medical care themselves, mental health care themselves. I mean, it's a very different life than the one they expected, and it happens very suddenly. There's no long-term warning that, okay, I have to get ready for this. This is the call that comes at night, or come to the hospital right away, and that's it. From then on, life's different.
We did have a support group while we were what I call in-house, and same thing, we'd have like a round table, and we would talk and just give our brief history of where we were and how we were in the treatment and the whole thing. And I had this mother look on, as this woman's talking, she's got a little 2-year-old or whatever, and is just being treated for some kind of leukemia or whatever, and I'm thinking, oh, poor thing, how this little girl isn't going to know, why this is happening. And as my turn comes around, she says, I feel so bad for you. I says, for me, why? She said, because your son and what he has to go through. I said, and I was feeling bad for you. I said, my son understands. I can explain to him why he's getting poked and why he has to do this. I said, but your baby, you can't explain to your baby. So, I mean, even though you're thinking that, poor you, somebody else is thinking, the same thing right back at you. And it gave me a whole new look, I think, of how to, to view all of this. And bottom line is that everybody, no matter what the catastrophe is, I mean, you're in it together. It's this big monkey wrench that's been thrown into your lives that you really didn't expect to happen, and you deal with it the best you can. Some don't deal well at all, and others, rise up there and stick to your guns.
The secret to being a caregiver whose life isn't totally consumed by being a caregiver is to have a huge network of helpers. Because everybody asks you, what can I do? Let me know if I can help you. So I did. I said, well, what would you like to do? I'm keeping a list. And I put their name down and I'd say, what do you like to do? And they'd tell me, gee, I can cook, I'll do, I can babysit, I can take the dogs, I can do all these things. So the secret is to, when people ask you for help, don't miss that opportunity. Ask them what they like to do and how they can help you. And then make sure you write it down because you'll forget. And then when you're just feeling like there's nobody around to do anything for you, look at that list and say, okay, I'd like to go to dinner with Amy. She offered to go out to dinner with me some night, so I offered to do that. Now, let me look down the list and see who can take care of my survivor while I'm out to dinner with Amy. That's the kind of thing you have to do. The more people you know and the more people who can help you, the better off you are. But know that you probably have to ask for that help.
My biggest thing for years was I had nobody to turn to. I had nobody to, he's been doing this irritating thing day in and day out, and is he supposed to be doing this? Is this not, normal for his injury? And there's been times when somebody has mentioned something, and then by 3 or 4 other people, yeah, we get the exact same thing. So then I think it's justified or it's validated your concerns. And also sharing, like resources. And yeah, I had that same thing, but who helped me most, is this particular doctor, or we did this and this. And I mean, that I'm not a professional. I don't proclaim to be a professional. I'm experienced because I've been there, done that. But everybody who sits in these chairs have been there, done that by the time they get here.
They've lost their support network. They've lost their friend network. They've lost everybody that they ever know because now their life is very different. They can't, go play bridge in the afternoon, or they can't, join their religious organizations at night. They can't do what they used to be able to do, so they've lost that support. I think with the support groups, the comment I hear most often is, we have a new group of friends now. They understand, they've been there, they know what we're going through, so they're my new friends. The survivors and the caregivers will say that, and they're usually very grateful for that.
We all offer consolation to everybody. We all offer the emotional hug, that maybe not be physical, but it's there, that people care and people are listening. We do hear you.
It's a very difficult situation, and if you're a friend of a caregiver, call people up, call that caregiver up, and take them something healthy, because they probably don't eat very well. I call up and say, can I go shopping for you, or can we all go shopping, or just try to maintain that friendship because they'll need it.
Not too many of the caregivers that I have ever met that haven't fought to keep their loved ones with them, or to get them better, or to do what they had to do.
We're planning a caregiver conference, and at this point it looks like it's going to be a half-day conference specializing in respite care and behavior. How do you deal with behavior of some of our survivors? We'll have a lot of resources, a lot of vendor tables, and hopefully it'll be a nice, relaxing day for the caregivers to just come and do something for themselves. I think most of our support groups are open to survivors and their caregivers. And some of the groups that have higher functioning survivors have separate meetings, so the survivors meet in one place and the caregivers meet in another room. We don't do that because most of our survivors need the caregivers with them to help do some of the activities, or just as assistance. So our support groups are a big deal.
Thank you for joining us for the Brain Injury Association of Massachusetts Brain Injury and You webcast series.
For further information about this webcast or any other webcasts, please contact us by calling 1-800-242-0030 or by visiting our website at www.bia-ma.org.
Oh, don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Facebook.